Several characters play important roles, these chapters, but I would focus especially on Jesus, Judas, Peter, Pilate, and the religious leaders. The first Jesus is central character. Several characters play important roles in the chapter, but I would focus especially on Jesus, Judas, Peter, Pilate, and the religious leaders. First, Jesus in the central character, his does not amplify, become a passive victim of the circumstance. Throughout the narrative, he understands what happened and repeatedly demonstrate obedience of God's will. Judas Iscariot represents the betrayal. He identified Jesus, the authority, with a kiss, making his the betrayal, especially significant because it comes from someone on the has been on the Jesus disciple. Peter provided a not important example of a human weakness. Through be initially promises loyalty, he's denied Jesus 3 times. He failed contracts with Jesus' faithfulness. Finally, Pilate and the religious leaders demonstrate the potential and religious force that contribute of Jesus' condemnation. Their action raise important questions about the justice, authority, responsibility, and woman's sin. The theology of the Matthew 26 and 27 is especially significant because the chapters reveal what God is doing through the suffering and death of Jesus. First, the passage reveals Jesus' obedience and submission to God's will. Second, Matthew connects Jesus' death with forgiveness and salvation. Third, the crucifixion reveals the identify of Jesus. Fourth, these chapters reveal the contracts between human failure and the divine faithfulness. My question: if Jesus had authority and power to avoid his arrest and crucifixion, why did God adaptive proposal require Jesus to experience such extreme suffering and death? I find the question important because Matthew presents Jesus as both powerful and violent submissive. The text clearly emphasizes that God proposed the forgiveness and the Jesus' obedience. About the relationships between divine sovereign